Hi everybody, I'm Jess, your go-to Road to Kingdom dance analyst, and we are here at the final challenge, final performance of all the groups. I'm very excited to look at this, just seeing their growth from the intro stages, as well as their marathons that I've had the privilege of looking at prior to the show to now is going to be incredible. I'm very excited to just be able to just dive into the discussions with you guys on just being proud of everything that they've accomplished this season. We have two collaboration stages. One is a dance, one with TAEMIN, and another is going to be a vocal one, and then we're going to look at the final performances together. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, we got YOUNITE, newest track. Let's go. It's called Shin Nyeon. I like that. Yeah! Wow! What does this song remind me of? This is a dope track. Yes. This is a good track. I love the commitment to character in the back. Thank you. All the way until that thing is down. That's a well done, prepped set. Rock. Yeah. Okay. Yes. What a freaking tongue twister. Love it! Scream for the boys! Yeah! Yeah! Give me some swordography, I'm ready! Yeah! Yes! Yeah! Sheesh. I love that the LEDs are going up and you have the confetti going down. Look at the contrast. That is so freaking sick. That was phenomenal, Lord. Okay, so I know what track this reminds me of. It is one of BY's tracks, and we're actually going to listen to it real quick. I think it's this one. Gara Sade. Right here. Should've listened. It's right here. Ready? Ooh, I haven't seen the music video before. We're just gonna listen for the sake of it, which is why I probably liked it as much as I did. We'll do a little bit more because there's a little sound that I think they also did. You see what I mean? Anyway, so I thought it was important for us to do that because that is probably why I liked this a lot in sound, because of the syncopation of the lyricism as well as that the percussion and how they chose to do the sound production in the back. Woohoo! Okay. We're talking about it from the jump. A freaking storyline and done very well. I love it. Okay, from the top. Do you see what I mean? The ho, ha, ho, ha, ho. That. But then you have the ta-ta-ta-ta telling you. Now, is it plagiarism? No, I don't, for me, I think it's like, they're similar, but for me, it's in a complimentary way where they probably adopted similar samples. We're going to go off of that. Okay, so I like that everyone's down. Just a slow little drag onto the foot with the pop of the chest. And then he grabs, throws. And then we move. He throws him to the side. Let's go. Boom. He grabs the sword. Boom. And then you have all the hands creating a really nice moment there as he props that sword down. You have your first feature, or technically your second feature coming through the flags. Boom, ba, and I like the presentation out. The flags to reset in front, so I like how he create closure behind him to create a really nice environmental factor. I love their fits for this. Like for me, it feels very kingdom themed, but not straight up kingdom. It kind of feels more like, I don't know, I haven't watched Attack on Titan, but I don't know why I keep thinking of like the Full Alchemist, that one, Full Chemical Alchemist or something. Full Metal Alchemist, that, and then like Attack on Titan, like those types of like kingdom-based fits is what it feels like to me, but it just shows you my ignorance if you're like, that doesn't look like it at all. It's fine. It's fine. The grabs are really fun. The presentation over the side's really nice. The complementary of the mirrored on the swords are nice with levels is cool. They bring it up. I love that choice with the bleed up on the arm. And then throw on the sword. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then we have a little just a little toss in the hand is fun, conversational. Push on the sword up is really nice. Go down. I love the bleed. And then we have our oh my gosh, that's a wrist. Our wrist guiding our choices in the direction, and our hand just follows suit. It's really nice. I like how we hold our position on the side. Using a sword is always risky business. It's, yes, just a prop sword, but I'm talking about the lines that it creates. You have to be very mindful of them because it can get a bit wonky, or it can make it very unrefined if you're not mindful of how you're holding it. How you hold it matters just as much as the position that you have it, especially if you're doing mirrored choreo. I love how he holds it. Da, 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 da. That's what really reminds me the most of it, is because BY, he just goes freaking off on his own track. So like, I really love Day's choice on this. And I like how we go ting, ting, ting on the swords, and then they go, oh, and then they throw it, they reset. I like the pulses on that too. He presents it forward, he says, boom, what you want? He lifts, very complimentary to what everybody else does. And then from here, he has this. That's not a real person, I don't think. It's really cool, though, that he's just holding it like freaking just like it's no one. I love it. They present, and you have a little trace to build it back up, which is nice. He goes, knock, knock. And then he does a little slice. They freaking just clock to the floor. Super fun. Then you have everybody go slow, and then they rotate in their transition, and then they present like they're about to draw their sword, is what it feels like. Then we have it. The build, very nice. I love the color shift going on in the back. It turns more blue. Hopeful is what it feels like. Doesn't feel as combative, right? It feels like it's a storyline progression, because everyone is still accenting, but it's slowed down as well. It's awesome. Knock, knock, knock on the side. Gosh, don't these little towers remind you of a Lord of the Rings, like that vibe of stuff? I love it. I love it so much, and I love that we have these silhouettes of these shadowed figures that match the fits of what they're wearing. It just feels so deep and vast. I love it. I love it. Guys, I'm so proud of Unite. You have no idea. I'm telling you right now, I could see them pull top 3 in the finals. I mean, it just comes down to fandoms. I don't know how the fandoms voted. That's okay that I don't know. If we're going straight off of the performances, they have been very, very consistent. And I would honestly put them in top 2 when it comes to performances. I would have it between ONEUS and YOUNITE, in my humble opinion, based on their consistency throughout the aces being represented and their sets, for sure. And I do know CRAVITY is going to be in the mix for this. I mean, everybody can be competitive in their own right. I have no idea, like I said, how the fandoms voted. I could see ONEUS winning because they do have a significantly heavier fandom presence compared to most of the groups competing, which, I mean, that's an Mnet choice of, you know, they chose groups with vast fandoms, which I think is totally, I mean, that's life. So I know it's not going to be who did all the performances best. That's not as big of a factor as who has the biggest fandom that's the most dedicated to supporting their group. And that's okay that is the case, because Mnet, they're not really, what's the word? They're not hiding that. I know they have pulled some very questionable things this season, like they have in other Kingdom seasons, but I'm really happy though that we get to celebrate like how freaking dope this set is. Like YOUNITE, regardless of how they play, should be very, very proud of themselves, and I hope that we have fans or people that become fans of this group as a result of it, just like people becoming fans of the boys after their time on Road to Kingdom, right? Super cool. Anyway, so I like how he goes pulse, pulse. They all take their swords, they're making them nice and low, and then he resets over to the side. I like the angle of the head that he has there, and it's nice and lunge. You have another level instigating in the back, which is nice. They run away. It's not a basket run. I'm not clocking it as such. He grabs, I like the little trace off the back is nice, and then he goes dee-dee, brings it up, and then he has his sword. He had that really good clean rotation through, and it says Carmen Fide. I hope we get to see some behind the scenes as they set up these sets. I would love to see that, because just seeing, I don't know, just the intention behind the tracks I think would be really cool, and I kind of feel like they will have that, you know, because that's all prepared. You know, we're not, I'll be shocked if we have rehearsal footage, you know, later we will. But anyway, I like the mirrored effect going on here with our dancers and our members. I like the knee with the pulsing going on with that knee choice, rotating it to the inside. We present down and then we fold it up, and I like the elbow being presented as well. Looks great. We rotate it through. I like the slice on that. And then we go rotating it across, and we present, letting the wrist cater close to the neck to let this be a nice, not seductive moment. This is not really seductive, but definitely one where it just travels and allows you to focal point on their heads, even though it's a wider shot. So I think that was a really fun choreography choice. Then we present out, and I like the grab. We bring it back, and then we throw it up, which is nice. And then we step, ball change. Well, we step forward and back and forward and back. I just love that. And then we present the sword, and then we do cater our weight over to our right side and over, and I like how we progress the sword trace while doing that. It's really cool. We bring it up, bring it down to reset in our lunge. We turn about, and we bring it up, dee-dee, dee-dee, dee-dee. That was really cool. 1, 2, 3, just building on from front to back. Then they freaking match cut it, man, where they have it and they continue on into the next scene. Then you have 5 of your members over here, and they go hit and hit the rotation of the arm around, which is really nice. And then we double it up. I love this extra wrist to build this cool little pas de bourrée. We take the little wrist rotation across, so they're just reintroducing this action, but in different ways, embellished ways, so it doesn't feel redundant, right? Because you can technically only do so much with a sword without adding other gimmicks or other elements in it. So I like the choices that they did, in fact, make with this. It's great. And then from there, we have it here, and then we end up going behind with it, which was cool. We slide down, we reset, present that sword forward, and then we end up tracing again, but notice what our footwork is. I love that choice. I think it felt like we were doing a bedrock. I don't quite know because we didn't have the camera pan on that. We do a nice little extra accent of the leg. We do that twice. Then we push it up and we reset back. It looks really nice. The pulse, and then we bring it closer to us. So I like that choice. And then we have our nice little sticky and punctuation on that sword, and then we end up tracing again on it, right? But it was it's a counter pull. So we have a subtle draw down, and we have a subtle pull up, and I really love that. He releases it, twinkles it in. We got another one of those little nose metal things. I think it's really fun. I just see how sweaty the performers get. So I don't know how it stays on, if I'm being honest. I think that's fun. He twinkles it away. I like the rotation over, and he throws it to the side, and we reset. And then right here, I love this, where he's holding our enemy. And then he says, excuse me, bye. I love it. Very combative. I love how we're progressing verse 2, and it drops out. So it definitely has more, you're paying more attention to the lyrics here because you have these accent basses in the back, but you don't have all these other ta-ta-ta-ta that's coming in as aggressively as the first verse was, right? I love it. It's technically a different, it feels like a different song. And so having a different type of background is very fitting to it as well, right? So I like the little slice, and he hits it there. Can we talk about commitment to character of dancers and performer as this goes all the way, not to just here, not to where we just see his legs, but all the way to the freaking ground. He doesn't move. Thank you. That is professional. I love it. And that is well done on the performance direction side because we're factoring the timing in there to get him to his next spot. Thank you for that. Very thorough. Very much appreciated. We go through. I like that he has this moment. He pushes. Now, he's not distracting from what's going on in the back. He's having his moment. He's just subtly pulling up. I love that we have character committed right here while we get to have our solo moment. Bump, bump, bump. So I like how we're presenting. We're like, what you want? Come on. And then we have 2 more come in. So now we don't have the sword. So now we get to syncopate, use more of our movement quality, make it more polyrhythmic through content. Because when you have your sword, it does make it difficult to be able to engage in those things without pulling more of a risk of your sword not being those clean angles you need to further your storyline when you have dancers that also placate to that, right? So I like the go dee-dee-dee-dee, and then I like the little bleed up. It looks really nice. Dee-dee-dee, and I like the expansion little port around moment out of that is really fun. Then we go push, push, boom, boom. I love the accent point coming out of that too. And we go in, and I love the accent with the sternum out. Come on. And then I like the separation, letting the dancers be that separation between our 3 members in because of the contrast of the fits is really nice. I love the LED choices here. So well done, guys. I love this. And they pull in. I really like the twinkling in on this. It's cool. They run away. I love the things are on fire. We're running away. We can't handle it. I like how we just see his eyes as it traces across. Side note, I really think this is a good hair color for this individual. Looks great on him. So he moves forward. I like the throw. And then I do believe this is Day, right? So Day, this is a good, honestly, I think everybody's hair colors that they have here look great. I think keep them. I mean, not forever, because remember with K-pop, everyone changes their hair for every comeback because that's what the companies want. But I'm just saying, I really like everybody's hair for this. It's styled very well and very effective for their concept. I love it. So you have your, it does look like, I think these are our friends, our allies, right? Our fellow individuals. And I think it's because if you look at the type of color of the fits, they tie very well complementary to our members in comparison to the dark fits that we saw from our other guys. So we hit it over, so I like our presentation of our arms, looks really nice here. And I like it feels like we're clawing at the air, which I think was really cool, very combative. And we pulse it in, and of course you have your feature in the center. They rotate their arms to have them reset over to the side. We have our dancers drop that level. That's a good thing to use your dancers for, is to establish levels and take responsibility for more of the grunt work of the physical demand of making certain images come to life. That's my thing. Because when you speed change too, it can get very physically demanding when you have to hold an angle for a long time, but speed change it because your whole body is tense as you're making that choice to get that illusion of a speed change or a slowed down effect to come to life. And so somebody who sings, it's already polyrhythmic. Because if they're dancing at any part outside of what they're singing, it's going to be polyrhythmic because they have to initiate or reinstate a different sound. And so that's why dancers really matter if you choose to use them, because they can hit all of those polyrhythms or other sounds in the track that the members don't have to focus on as much. They can focus on the charisma and stage presence side of it, but it still feels complete. I love it. I love it. And then we present with the swords. We love that. We're hitting it. Honestly, I feel like this is another little like 80s moment, right? Where they had the Wonderland with the freaking gun, pop off. I love it. Now, they don't own that, but I'm just saying it's really fun. What works for some groups, they're able to take and they were able to put their spin on it to make it work for them, and I love it. And then from there, I like the fact they had it to where not all of them were up. We still had 2 outliers to create a cross down, which was really cool. They reverbed it as well. They swing it down. I like it catered right by the base of the base of the leg. Honestly, they do give a little bit of a... Isn't there a Mortal Kombat character that has a mask like that? I don't even remember who it is. I think it's one of the guys with the type... He has a different type of hat, right? Anyway, I just think it's really fun. It's giving super hybrid. It's combative, but like Mortal Kombat over here, and it gives like an anime, kingdom, war fit over here, and then you have... BY sounding track. It's just all really fun things that how they were able to phrase them together is really interesting. The pull there is nice. I like how he holds it. He brings it up. Da, 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 and we twinkle in from pinky to, oh my gosh, pinky to index. And I like how he pulls away. I like having our dancers. They have a huge responsibility to make sure those swords are what they need to be. They lift it up. I like the clean line. And then we have our next member. The camera's panning through, which is nice. And then they slice him, and now he's like, I'm hurt with the red. Come on now. Okay, look at this. So now he is like, I'm in pain. Notice this. He's the one that's in that point, like they give us his specific point of view. And normally when you see a POV, it's we're the person. Like, we're not a member, we are just a viewer that gets that first look experience. This is a very interesting take because we end up being his point of view, which I find to be very interesting. Like, we now get to become part of the story, but there's through an existing character. Interesting, right? It's cool. And then he drops down. I wish there was a little boom there, right? And so you see this right here. So it's technically him. Right? And so I love that lift up there. He's like, oh, me. And I like how we took the sword. He is killing all the haters. Lift up there. I like the breath on that. He's like, here's your sword. You got this. Grab. We know. That's not our member. He's down on the ground resetting, right? We grab. Let's go. New member right here. I love that. The flags are nice. We're here for it. Subtle. Subtle. That dancer almost did the wrong side. We did it though. Then you have two more on here. He has this nice little angsty moment. I love that little porter bra with the sweep, with the ranajam around, the little envelope on that. You have the combativeness still happening, but they're lower level. Thank you for that, so we can see what's going on. This is being mindful of, if they were all up and being combative, we could not see and appreciate what's going on here. I love the fact that we're being mindful of where everyone is at all times. Thank you for that. Golly, this is good performance direction. I like the subtlety with the pull and the sternum on that. Looks really nice. They rotate it, D-D-D-D. I like the hit at the top of that is nice. Then we sway, 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 twinkles in, and then you still have one of your feature members up at top. Bring it over, D-D-D, which we really love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go down, up. I like the pull, boom, boom. They all run, but notice it's not really technically a basket run because they're holding that sword on the side. So I like the prep on that. Boom, D-D-D-D. So I like the accents on the elbows, which is really nice. And they walk. And then it opens up. They grab their swords. Really well done. I'm curious how those swords were held. So we even had to think about the prop, where to store it. And we didn't have the dancers hold on to it. We allowed the environmental scene prop to be built to where you have your swords storable, but also pullable. Very well done. Very thought out. Very thorough. Very good use of your budget. Fantastic. We walk. Let's go. They said, let's go. I love the cheers that we're hearing because it's like we are about to pop the freak off, and I love it. Even in the back, it's like it's the dusk before. This is the final battle, right? I like that. He hits it, boom, daddy-o. The pulse on that's really fun, and then you have everybody and their mama coming in hot on them stallions. I like the push and the pulse on that. It's really interesting how it doesn't look awkward. Thank you. I like the hit and ding ding ding, so I like the knocking on that sword. It's really cool. And then we take our arms and we travel it from high to low. Come on, we uppercut, we take it, we grab that hand down, we slide that knee, we rotate it through. I like the extra accent of that sword, and we have an uppercut to kind of create a shield for ourselves. So we even have a combative unison dance break, which is really cool. Normally the dance breaks, I would be like, oh, I want more variety. But for this, we hadn't technically done a huge unified kind of set of choreo yet. like this, so that's why it feels very refreshing. You're very, you know, we're going to war and we're ready to win. Like, it's just them with their fellow warriors, right? Soldiers. It's super cool. I like the hit from one side to the other with this extra, not fixed point, but there is an opposition of the body to that sword, and we end up speeding it up right here. And I like the pulse to match what we ended up doing in our walking pulses. I like how we have our sword, and then we pulse it or we accent it down. It's really cool. And then I like the different directions on this. With the uppercut, port de bras moment. We have our sword set forward, and I like how we're letting that sword pull us forward. And we go out in, we swipe it, let's go, and we hit accent out. And then they're the ones that do a nice little embellishment on the tail end of that sword movement, because the dancers, I don't think, did that. Really, really nice. So the dancers are being controlled by the sword through their chest, and you can see that whenever you watch them do this again. So watch. I love that choice. Boom. And then they use that leg to tick that up. They reset down. I love that uppercut there. Now the swords are being used again. That little that crash sound is really nice, where we have that sword to initiate with that. They bring it, a ball change to switch the direction. The little pas de bourrée, and I like that we added the arm on that, where we still have our sword presented to make it feel more full, and it's not just a pas de bourrée, but we allow extra movement and momentum in the upper body to cater to it. Then we have our hand with our sword, we're switching it up, we have it presented, we go high in, we grab it, let's go, we go in, and then we create a nice speed change add-on, boom. So it was a 3-part, and then we accent in, da-da-da-da, and we present up, and then we have a nice little bleed up, then we pas de bourrée, having the sword right across above our face or right across from it, totally fine, and we twinkle it in, similar to what we've already kind of seen. I think it was the end of course 1, right? And we push it through, and we trace it through, and we pulse, we bring it up, and then we have a little just rock back on this, and then we end up, you know, kind of rescinding that sword and that accent there. And then we have it presented, we trace it down. So we've already seen this choreo before. It's a reprise. It's the end right here. They sway it, and they have this fun finish. They do a nice little port de bras. And I love the opposing confetti to the LED. That is so fun. Lordy, gosh, this was so good, guys. So good. And this, I'm assuming this one's the first one out of the gate, because they went, I'm watching these in numerical order from the 1, 2, 3, 4. So, but man, Lord have mercy. This is a fantastic start. Ah, okay. Thank you, guys. I am right about to watch the episode. I do not know who wins. And this is the first time in Kingdom history and Queendom history that I do not know who wins. And I've been avoiding YouTube like the plague. These videos were given to me by a fellow Patreon member. They sent them to me because I requested if somebody could send them so I didn't have to find them, because I was so afraid I was going to find a spoiler if I was trying to retrieve these. So thank you to those who helped me get these without spoiling anything. I am very much looking forward to the dialogue and discussion. By the time this gets launched on YouTube, I will know who wins, and I will be setting up a way to do the marathon of the winning group. It will most likely be a reaction compilation with unlisted links to all of the analysis is probably what's going to happen, just because of how the analytics of YouTube has been operating on my channel recently. It's just been wild. So I will describe more of that in the intro of the marathon group's winner stuff. But yeah, you guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Bye.